Hello and welcome to another segment of In the Spotlight. I'm Superintendent Michael Richard, and today I am very pleased to be joined by two alum from West Springfield High School. I'm joined by Austin Sawicki from the class of 2016 and Lauren Beliveau from the class of 2017. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're here today at the high school as part of an alumni panel. You were speaking to our juniors, I believe, and maybe some seniors mixed in about your experiences here at the high school and what you're doing now. Why don't you tell the audience at home a little bit about you so that they get to know where you are. Austin, you're at Mass Maritime.
Yes.
And Lauren, you're at Elon College down in North Carolina. So tell the audience a little bit about each of those schools and how you ended up there.
Well, yeah, as Mr. Richard said, I go to Mass Maritime Academy in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. I study emergency management there. I actually just switched from marine science and environmental protection. I found a topic there that really interests me, and I'm going into career path for the Coast Guard. So I'm in an officer program there, and it just really fits everything I was looking for in a college. And I really love the regiment and everything about it, so it's a really good fit for me.
Great. And how about you, Lauren?
So I chose Elon because I wanted to go to the Carolinas. I wanted to go somewhere further south, nicer weather, and it had every program that I was looking for. I'm a psychology major and a neuroscience minor, and I've really come to love the experience of being away from home.
Good. So you're in Elon, North Carolina, which is kind of near Greensboro, if I remember correctly. So you've got a little bit of a trek to the beach. Whereas Austin, yes. You're right there. You're right there on the water each and every day. So tell me, Lauren, what programs were you looking for at Elon? When you say programs, it sounds like you maybe were undecided,
Yes.
and so you wanted to make sure that you didn't have to transfer between schools.
Mm-hmm. So what I was looking for was a school with a strong reputation that I could go somewhere and Elon could carry a weight with me. And it definitely had programs that were strong in science, because that was something I was considering, whereas it also had programs that were strong in communications, which is also a really good major at Elon. So through my school, you have to do learning experiences, and you have to choose between study abroad, leadership, research, things like that. And it was a good way to force me to get involved and to discover things that I was really interested in and that I liked, and it definitely gave the opportunities that I was looking for.
And Austin, for you at Mass Maritime, you thought you had your path nailed when you went there, if I remember correctly. And then what happened? You got there and it wasn't exactly what you thought it would be, or did you just find something you loved even more?
Well, it was actually everything I expected it to be. I was one of the more prepared people that in my class that I've met there. Personally, the only reason I did environmental science was to get in the Coast Guard, and I started doing more research and realized that you can do the emergency management program and still get that commission. And as I started talking to my friends, because marine science and emergency management are kind of in the same wheelhouse as far as classes, we would always rag on each other about which is better. And I started talking to them and actually started taking their side that I like their classes a lot more. So it was actually a lot better fit for me, and as I started doing more research, I kind of teeter-totter back and forth between which I like to do more, and I just decided to stay with my program. And then as I looked more this semester, I kind of realized, well, the classes are starting to really spread apart next semester, so if I want to make a decision, I have to do it right now. And ultimately, I decided their classes interest me a lot more. It's a lot of counterterrorism stuff, stuff that really interests me. So thinking back on it, I don't know why I was ever an environmental science major. It's just the classes, the syllabus that they have to take for the rest of the 4 years is nothing that really interests me. And the classes that we've taken so far are kind of more emergency management based, and I actually like those a lot more than the science classes. So I found a program that I really love even more.
Great. So at both of your schools, there are people from all over the country. So they are nationally recognized programs for sure. Tell me, when you're meeting new people, making friends from all over the country and all over the world, how are their experiences aligning with yours from here at West Springfield High School?
Well, I can't speak for Lauren, but for me, two of my really good friends are from Panama. We have a good exchange program with Panama and their maritime industry, and they're really great kids. I love them. You wouldn't even notice that they're like Panamanians. They're just like me, and they love the same things, and obviously they don't go home on the weekends, so it's great to get to get comfortable with them, and you can do things with them on the weekends. And then as far as people from around the country, around the Massachusetts, we have people from all over the East Coast mostly, and you make these connections, and then you can go to their houses on weekends, you can hang out with their families, so it's really cool making these connections with all these new people.
Maybe I'll narrow the question down a little bit more for Lauren. So when you are engaging with these people, you must talk about how prepared they were coming. So I hear Austin saying he was very prepared. How do you feel, Lauren, about your experiences at West Springfield High School and how they got you ready for Elon, maybe as compared to some of your friends? And do you ever say, I was able to do that, and they might say, well, we had this program or that program, and you say, geez, I wonder if we could bring that back to West Side. It would be something unique for our high school.
Well, the first thing that I noticed about going to college was, I think it's what you make of it. And your education from your high school, whether it's in West Springfield or if you're in Texas or California, anywhere, it's the experience that you make of it. So if you develop good habits in high school, they're going to translate into college. If you aren't putting in the time and effort in high school, you're going to struggle in college. And I found that the discipline that I developed in high school really helped me be successful in my first semester. And I think West Springfield High School does a really good job of instilling those values in you. They're there to help you, they're there to push you along so that you're ready to go to college. Whereas I think that some of my friends maybe didn't have the good support system at their high school to help them be successful.
We focus a lot on collaboration. We talk about the power of learning from each other and that team mentality. So both of you participated in some pretty special teams here. And Austin, you were highly involved in a lot of the drama productions that we put on. Lauren, you were on a state championship soccer team. Talk about how those experiences have helped you to be successful to this point in your college career.
The team aspect is one of the most important aspects in college. Even if you don't play for a sport, I don't play for a sport at my school, but everything about the leadership and the team building skills goes right into college. I mean, your professor is one person for however many hundreds of kids that they teach, so they can only help you so far. A lot of the time, I get my help from our junior squad leaders who are in charge of us as freshmen and sophomores. They help us with our homework, they help us with everything with the regiment. Any questions you have, they're really good at answering, as well as our academic resource center is all run by students, 100%. There's no faculty in there at night except for a few exceptions where they have mandatory tutoring sessions. It's all a team mentality where you're not going to let one of your teammates fail, whether it's your roommate or your friends or whatever. You're going to do whatever you can to help them along the way. You can give them your old notes or your old tests or give them something to study for. And I think the West Springfield team building is one of the most important things. And I know for me personally, the drama club and the athletic programs really prepared me as a leader to start taking over these positions. And I think that's one of the most important things that the school offers is that leadership ability and that team building.
Great. How about you, Lauren?
Yes, I definitely think that one of the most important things I brought with me to college was my experiences and being a part of sports teams. And then I joined drama club in my junior and senior year. And meeting all those new people prepared me to assimilate very well into a new environment and to be around new people who have interests in different things. And I definitely think that teamwork is really important because one of my final projects, it was a group project, so we had to all rely on each other and learn how to communicate properly. And if I hadn't learned those skills in high school, then in college for my final project, I would have struggled. But we worked together as a group, and I definitely think it's something that stays important through high school and into college.
What's a significant difference? What's the one thing that you maybe weren't prepared for or maybe slightly surprised by the difference between West Springfield High School, and Buzzards Bay or Elon, North Carolina, and your respective schools?
I think the biggest difference is obviously your work that you're going to be doing. Obviously, in high school, you can get by with maybe not studying. You don't develop these study habits. Maybe you don't do your homework exactly. Maybe you copy your friend's homework and it's not a big deal. In college, I mean, you can do that to a certain extent, except you need to still know this material. There's only so much you can get by with not doing the homework and not studying. That's probably the most important thing I can say for getting to college is develop these study habits early. For me, that didn't happen, and it took a couple F's on tests for me to develop these skills. And then it's just, from then on, it's just a motivator to do better and make president's lists and make dean's lists and get A's. And that self-motivation is something you definitely need. And yeah, just these study habits is the biggest difference from high school and college. Like, you can get by not studying in high school. You can't in college. You have to study.
Don't pay attention to this at home, ladies and gentlemen. He's not saying you can get by not studying. Lauren, how about you?
So like Austin said, the self-motivation is a huge factor. And the biggest difference for me was completely living on my own. Being in North Carolina, I wasn't coming home on the weekends. I was a phone call away, but not a drive away. So it was learning to be independent, living by myself, knowing when I needed to go to the dining hall and get food, knowing when I needed to sit down and study, knowing when I needed to take a break or spend social time. So I think that the independence was the biggest difference.
So what's the word of advice to a high school student right now looking to take the next step after West Springfield High School, whether that's college or career, whether it's a trade or an Ivy League school, whatever it might be, what kind of advice can you give them about that process? What should they start doing today and not wait to do?
So I think one of the biggest things is like what Ms. Allman told us is don't think that you're making a decision for the next 4 years of your life. It's not that hard to transfer between schools if you really don't like it or you find something that you like more, or switch majors. So don't think of it as like right now as a junior or senior in high school, you're making the decision for the rest of your life. I mean, you can change as many times as you need to, and it's not a big deal. I think that's the biggest thing I can say is you're not making a decision right now for the rest of your life. You have 4 years, and then after that you have as much time as you want to make a real decision. I mean, yeah, it's a big moment in your life, but it's not the end of the world if you make the wrong decision right now. And what I could say you'd start doing right now, start looking at schools, start looking at, even better than schools, look at what job you might want to do. Think of a career path. If you want to do the military, look at a school that can do that for you. If you want to go into physical therapy, go look at a school that can get you into that program. Look at the connections it can give you. Not even looking at the fundamentals of school, the housing, what the party life is like. That's not important right now. The important thing is look at what the school can give you, look at what programs you're interested in, and just decide on a topic. Once you decide your topic, you can figure out what schools best serve that topic.
Great. Lauren?
I would say definitely don't be afraid to push yourself. Going, whether that's going a state away, going 5 states away, going 5 minutes, going 25 minutes, I think pushing your limit is definitely something you can learn a lot about yourself when you do that, and you can reach things that you never thought you could before. So taking that step towards independence, pushing yourself, taking the harder class, taking the extra credit, taking a class over the summer, I think definitely pushing yourself is something that's really important to do to be successful.
So I want you both to think about someone who may have pushed you while you were here. And then I want you to also think about a missed opportunity. Was there something that you wished that you had done while you were at West Springfield High School? And Lauren, you've been going second quite a bit here, so I'm going to give you the first chance to go.
So this might seem like a small thing, but definitely when I look back on my senior year, my biggest regret would be not taking AP Lit. It seems like a small thing, but AP classes were a huge help to me, whether that was passing and getting the credit for the college class or just getting the exposure and the experience to college level courses. And looking back on my schedule, I think I could have handled it, and I wish I had pushed myself to take that class.
All right, and so is there someone who was pushing you that maybe you were pushing back on that a little bit?
Well, Miss Altman she's my guidance counselor, and
Okay.
she was definitely pushing me she knew that I could succeed in AP Lit, but I had already had 2 APs on my schedule. I was pushing myself taking anatomy, and I thought that I would not slack off, but take a step back in my English courses so that I could be successful in the other courses.
Right.
And as that seemed like the right decision in the moment, I definitely wish I had listened
Right.
and pushed myself.
So before we get to Austin, so you took a number of AP classes here at West Springfield High School. How did that translate to your college experience in terms of credits? Were you able to secure, did you have some qualifying scores that allowed you to get some college credit?
Yeah, so I go to liberal arts school, so you need a core curriculum. So I got a 4 on my AP English test junior year, and that got me out of freshman English, which seems like a small thing, but it's really nice to open up your schedule, say second semester, freshman year. I'm able to take more classes in my major or explore more instead of being tied down to taking freshman English. That was really nice. But it was also really nice to get the exposure to the harder level courses that I was taking. I was pushing myself in high school. Those are the classes that really helped me develop my study habits and my skills and exposed me to teachers that I'm still in contact with now. So.
Great. All right, Austin.
Yeah, honestly, the same as what Lauren said is I hated them while I was here, but I would have taken more AP classes. Like I said, I mean, they're difficult here. A lot of the time they can be harder than the classes that you take in college, but that can only benefit you here because you're taking them now, they're free, you're not doing anything. And honestly, you get these credits and you don't think it's a big deal when you're here, but then if I had taken AP Gov, which I wanted to take, and AP Lit, which I wanted to take here, but didn't end up taking, I would have had to take 2 mandatory classes my freshman year, and I could have filled up the rest with junior, sophomore classes or elective classes. And I took AP English here and AP European History and AP Environmental Science, and those classes allowed me to fill up my schedule with other classes I was more interested in. So when I switched majors, I wasn't necessarily behind because I had already kind of caught up to where I should have been. So like right now I switched majors and I'm only behind 1 class, which is not a big deal at all, whereas most people switch majors and they're an extra semester, an extra year, so I'm fortunate with that aspect. So I wish I had taken more AP classes. As far as motivators, I think Mr. Franco and Stan Svek both motivated me to do more. Mr. Franco motivated me to take AP Euro, which I wouldn't have taken necessarily, but I had him junior year for English or for history, and he told me to take it, so he pushed me to do that. And Stan Svek's just a great guy. He's just always been there to help me and push me. So, yeah, definitely for sure. Him.
Great. So as we wrap up, I want you to think about in our community, there's a lot of people. This program is still relatively new. But we're always looking for ideas about who might be entertaining or educational to the audience at home. So think about somebody that you would like to see sit here in the spotlight and ask some questions and share their experiences with people at home.
I would have to say Carly Kamasi.
Okay.
She is a graduate of West Springfield High School, and she was a senior when I was a freshman here. And she definitely has taken a leadership role in the town. She works for the mayor. She used to work for the Park and Rec. She's involved. She's a friendly face around town. She's someone that I always love seeing and catching up with. So I think that she'd be a really great person.
Good. So the mayor's office is getting a big push. We've got Ms. Kamasi. We also have the mayor. We also have the mayor's brother as being 3 individuals that we're going to line up. So how about you, Austin?
Well, I'd love to see the mayor on here too. That's
right.
a good point, but he'll probably hate me for this, but I'd like to see my brother, Ben Sawicki, on this. He graduated from West Springfield High School in 2012, graduated from Bryant University in 2016 with a marketing degree and a minor in communications. He started his own marketing company, BAS Marketing, and he runs a couple of websites and stuff like that. He now works for a chemical company, and he is the only person in charge of all digital marketing for 3 separate companies all under the same owner. And he loves it, absolutely. It's what his degree is, and I think he's a really good example of what West Springfield High School can do for you, and I would definitely love to see him on it. I think there's a lot of kids interested in business and marketing, and he's really smart when it comes to that kind of stuff.
For sure. I think those are two great people that we can certainly bring to the show. Anything you want to close with at your end? Anything you want to send a message home to anybody who might be watching?
Take advantage of your time at West Springfield High School. Get involved. It was awesome. I definitely hold it really close to my heart, even though I'm far away now. It's definitely part of who I am.
Good.
It's definitely part of who I am. The West Springfield High School experience was something that you can't find anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be here, happy to be in Mass Maritime, happy to be continuing on, and yeah, I'm just really excited about
Very
it.
good.
So.
Very good. Good. Well, that does it for today. So pleased to have had Austin and Lauren with me today. If you needed more information about the college experience, I would encourage you to contact the Guidance and Counseling Department here at West Springfield High School. Otherwise, this is Mr. Richard signing off. Have a great holiday season. Thank you.